You're listening to Microdoses, short practices you can apply today to accelerate healing on your health reset journey. Welcome to your Microdose. Today is very simple. We are talking about negative emotions and how super common it is to experience them when we are working on our health. I know we don't want to talk about it, or we want to be, super good little healers and self-aware people and very new agey. And, we're going to break the patterns and learn the lesson and get back to life. And it's really not how it works at all, right? As we discover along the way, it's a lot more magical, a lot more mysterious, complex, and intense than that usually. So it's really common for us to spend a lot of time, a lot more time than we'd like, in negative states or less than resourceful states, we'll call them, when we're healing or when we're working on a chronic health issue. And there's a very simple reason for this. We are really not at our best when we're not feeling good, right? And we're not as resilient as we could be. So we get stimulus coming in. And usually we would have, when all of our reserves and our resources, we have access to them, we would have all of this room to make the right choice for us before we react. And then that space actually collapses between stimulus and reaction. The more overwhelmed we get, the less energy we have when we're in pain and when we're not feeling strong in ourselves and aligned. So there's also a couple of really practical things to consider about this, though, this spending more time than you'd like in negative states, because you want to be in the healing state to heal. It's really a non-negotiable. If you're not in a healing state, you're not healing, period. So one of the things we want to do is basically unhook from the drama of not feeling well, unhook from this extra layer of feeling bad about feeling bad about behaving badly, because this is like, spiraling down into a less and less powerful state instead of coming back to a place of ease and calm and peace where the healing can happen. So one of the ways we can do that and take the drama out is just ask a very simple question. How much of this negative emotion is mine? And what I mean by that is when we're not well, first of all, if you're alive today, you've been poisoned. Okay. We've all come into contact with thousands of chemicals. We're storing them in our bodies. There are secondary and tertiary reactions with those. They have been very poorly studied, if at all. What we do know is that they each have, as well as heavy metals. Heavy metals I would put under the umbrella of toxins. So you have industrial chemicals and you have heavy metals, and these all have an energetic signature to them. So that's on board in our body, and they get stimulated or moved around, like mobilized. We get a response to that is emotional in nature. So like if you go to a funeral and you're having a really hard time and you're having a lot of physical symptoms, grieving, before, during, and after, chances are you've moved some emotions in your body and you've also mobilized some toxins. So some of that is yours and it is real. And then some of it is simply your body's experience of this foreign material that has an emotional signature. This also goes for pathogens and viruses, guys, and molds. They all have an energetic signature. Like we used to do ozone therapy when I first started this. Michael and I were working on our health. Michael had one emotional reaction to ozone therapy, and it was completely different from mine. I started out with just 10 seconds of ear insufflation. I was so sensitive. And for the next 2 hours, I was just like bawling about life and how sad life was. We call them my weepy bugs. It's like, oh, okay, here come the weepies. We're going to take some binders ahead of time. We're going to make sure I've got the drainage in place. And now we're going to go do the ozone, and then we're going to have some weepies. And it's not mine. Part of it's me because I'm a match to this experience and I want to take responsibility for that. And part of it is the bugs, and I'm working on that. And I'm doing the physical things I need to. And understanding that and unhooking from the drama of, oh my God, I want to die because I'm just too tender for this world that I'm in. It's just too hard. I feel things too much. Yes, I am a very sensitive person and I'm very empathic and intuitive and all those things. And those were the weepy bugs, man. The weepy bugs will get you. And I was matched for them. And thankfully, I was able to heal myself, and I no longer am. But unhooking from that and asking how much of this negative emotion is mine while I was doing that work was essential, because it allowed me to go from suicidal to feeling like myself again, even though I was still working on my health. And I'll give you another example just to make this really concrete. Mercury is in dental amalgam fillings. Okay. And there's an episode in our Explained series, you really got to check out if you have any amalgam fillings where you had, or you know somebody that you care about has. These are really common. And they're in millions and millions and millions of Americans' mouths. And we're several generations into this experiment, and mercury is half the weight by volume in dental amalgam fillings. And this is what your dental insurance is encouraging you to get. The problem is mercury has been shown in many, many studies to have not just myriad health effects, because no legal safe limit for mercury has actually been established. There is none. There's like no level of like, oh, once we go over this point, it's probably not so good. No, we don't want any in our bodies, actually. Mercury has an emotional signature that can create anything from anxiety to social phobias, to depressions, to irritability, to mood swings. And, if you're nodding your head while you listen to this, like I really encourage you not just to go back to that episode, but to go on an exploration. Start asking how much of this negative emotion is mine. How much of my anxiety, sometimes in our culture, I hear people talk about my anxiety like they're treating it like a pet. That is not helpful either, but that's for another microdose, I suppose. How much of this is mine and how much of this is the stuff that my body's been poisoned with? And I can be so tender and gentle with myself as I go through this process of healing and getting the stuff out of my body bit by bit, step by step, day by day. How much of this negative emotion is mine? I can't wait to hear your thoughts on this. Join us in the Facebook group, Your Health Reset. Let us know what this is like for you. We're here for you. This is a community and we love you. Thanks for listening. Go to detoxrejuvenation.com to find the links in the show notes to everything we covered in this episode. Please subscribe, review, and share with other humans who need this precious information. Let's help each other. Until next time, love, Sinclair.